Chapter 2, Instruction Set and Programming in 8085. This chapter is very important for your board exams. All the programs comes from this chapter only. So overall 43 marks questions comes from this chapter with option. So students, this chapter include number of instructions, and those instructions you all have to apply while writing the program. So please study each and every instruction carefully. Only then you are able to write the programs. Okay students, so now we can start with the first topic of this chapter, that is instruction. Now students, tell me, what is instruction? Instruction is a command which we can give to the computer so that it can perform the or it can execute the functions. That is known as the instruction. So if we are talking about instruction in terms of 8085, then we can say instruction is a binary pattern which is to be followed by the microprocessor to perform the specific function. So binary pattern which is followed by the microprocessor to perform the specific function is known as a instruction. Okay, now students, this is the instruction, and the instruction is divided into two parts in 8085. First part is known as a opcode and second part is known as a operand. Okay, so instruction contain two things. First one is the opcode and second one is the operand. Now opcode means, or opcode specify the type of operation to be performed. So it will specify the type of operation to be performed. Okay, and what is operand? Operand is the data where we have to apply the operation. So operand is the data while opcode is the type of operation. Suppose we have to add numbers. Okay, so opcode means add, that will tell which operation is to be performed, and the number is operand. Okay, where we have to perform the add operation. So that is the operand as well as the opcode. Now students, in 8085 we can specify the operand in different ways. Okay, directly we can specify the operand in the instruction. Suppose we have to add 5 in with the contents of the accumulator. So directly we can specify 5 with the help of instruction, or we can put this 5 inside any of the register and then we can specify. So there are different ways to specify the instruction, or there are different ways to specify the operand. So operands we can specify either with the help of registers, or we can specify it with the help of 16-bit data or 16-bit address, or it may be any of the memory location where our data is stored. Okay, or it is a 8-bit data. So different ways are there using which we can specify the operand in 8085. Okay students, I hope you understand about the definition of instruction. Now we can see next topic, that is the instruction word size. Now students, what is instruction word size? Instruction word size means the memory that is occupied by a instruction to feed inside the memory location. Okay, that is known as the instruction word size. Means how much memory is occupied by each and every instruction so that it can be fed into the memory of 8085. That is known as a instruction word size. So in 8085 we can categorize all the instructions in 3 parts. First is the 1-byte instruction. Okay, second category is the 2-byte instructions, and third category is a 3-byte instruction. So each and every instruction is distributed among these 3 categories. Some of the instructions are 1 byte, some are 2 byte, and some are 3 byte. So maximum size of the instruction in 8085 is 3 bytes. So maximum size of an instruction in case of 8085 is 3 byte only, and the minimum size is 1 byte Okay, so now we can study each and every type one by one. So first is one byte instruction. So one byte instruction means it requires one memory location. So one memory location is used to store the instruction, then we can call that instruction as a one byte instruction, because in 8085 in each memory location we can store only one byte of data, or we can say we can store 8 bit of data. So if we want to store 1 byte of instruction, then one memory location will be required. In this case, no operand is specified explicitly. No operand is specified explicitly. That means operand and opcode is within the same memory location. So here you can see we have a format like this, opcode. So in this memory location, that is 1 byte memory location, opcode as well as the operand are stored in the same memory location. For example, we have an instruction that is CMA. So CMA means complement the contents of accumulator. So what contents we have to complement that are present in the accumulator. So in this instruction you can see no explicitly data as well as the address is specified here in the instruction. The data or the operand is present inside the accumulator only, and that is within the opcode. So this CMA is 1 byte of instruction. Next we can see we have an instruction RAR. So RAR means rotate the contents of the accumulator on the right hand side with carry. So again you can see which contents we have to rotate that are present inside the accumulator. So here again this is a opcode, and this opcode can occupy 1 byte of memory. Next we can see we have an instruction move B comma C. In this instruction now you can see we have to copy the contents of the C register into the B register. So that means whatever contents present in the C, that will be copied into the B register. So here no data and no 16-bit address or 16-bit data is explicitly specified here. Data as well as the data is inside these registers. Okay, so we can say here again this is a opcode. So this opcode can occupy 1 byte of memory. So this is the 1 byte instruction. Now come to the 2 byte instruction. In case of the 2 byte instruction, first byte is used to specify the opcode, while second byte is used to specify the operand. Okay, so that is known as a 2 byte instruction. So you can see here first byte is used to store the opcode, and second byte is used to store the operand. Now you can see in this case operand is specified explicitly. That means operand is here present. So in case of the instructions where operand is explicitly specified, those instruction comes under this category. For example, we have an instruction that is MVI B, 57H. In this case, you can see this is the data. You know the range of data starts from 00H to FFH in case of 8085. So 57 is the data here. So this data will be moved into the B register. So you can see here in this case this is the opcode while 57 is the operand. So 1 byte is used to store MVI B and 1 byte is used to store 57. So this instruction is 2 byte instruction. Okay, so next example we can take, that is ADI05H. So in case of this instruction means we can add the contents of the accumulator with the contents that are present in the instruction, and the result is finally stored into the accumulator again. So in this case you can see this is the data while this is the opcode. So this opcode can occupy 1 byte of memory, and this data can occupy again 1 byte of memory. So overall this instruction can occupy 2 byte of memory. Next we can see SUI44H. So in this example again the meaning of this instruction is we can subtract the contents of accumulator with 44 or the data which is given in the instruction, and the result is again stored in the accumulator. So here again you can see data is given in the instruction. So this is the operand that can occupy 1 byte of memory, and this is the opcode that can again occupy 1 byte of memory. So any instruction where data or where 8-bit data is specified, those instructions are the 2-byte instructions. Or the any instruction where no data or no 16-bit address or 16-bit data is specified explicitly is known as a 1-byte instruction. Now come to the third category, that is 3-byte instruction. So students, in case of the 3-byte instruction, first byte is used to specify the opcode, while second and third bytes are used to specify the operand. So here operand can use 2 memory locations, while opcode can use 1 memory location to feed in the memory of 8085. So what is the format of 3-byte instruction? So in this case we have a opcode here in the first memory location that is used by the opcode, and the second and the third memory location is used by the operand. So in the second location as well as in the third location operand is present. So operand is here 16-bit data, either it is a 16-bit data or either it is a 16-bit address. So as a operand 16-bit data or 16-bit address is present here. So out of 16-bit, lower order byte is stored on the second location and higher order byte is stored in the third consecutive memory location. So initially opcode will be stored, then lower order byte of the data or address will be stored, and the third location will be occupied by the higher order byte of 16-bit data or the 16-bit address. So these instructions are the 3-byte instructions. For example, we have an instruction that is LXI H, 2000H. So in this instruction you can see this is the opcode which can occupy 1 byte of memory, and this is the operand, and this operand is the 16-bit data. So out of 16-bit data, 00 is the lower order byte while 20 is the higher order byte. So this 16-bit data can occupy 2 byte of memory while this opcode can occupy 1 byte of memory. So in short, this instruction can occupy 3 byte of memory. So any instruction which can specify the address explicitly, those instructions comes under 3-byte instruction. Next example we can see LDA 2000H. So in this instruction, what does it mean? A microprocessor can load the contents that are present in this memory location into accumulator. So here this address is of 2 byte and this LDA, that is opcode, is of 1 byte. So this instruction is of 3 byte. Next example we can see STA 2000H. So in this case, that means whatever contents present in the accumulator that can be loaded or that can be stored into address 2000 or that can be stored into memory location 2000. So here in this case STA is the opcode while 2000 is the operand. So these are the 3-byte instructions. So in short, I will tell you again, in case of 1-byte instruction, no 8-bit data or 16-bit data as well as the address is specified in the instruction explicitly. Only one memory location is used by both opcode as well as the operand. In case of the 2-byte instruction, only 8-bit data is specified explicitly. So 1 byte is occupied by the 8-bit data and 1 byte is used by the opcode. Next one is the 3-byte instruction, where always 16-bit address or the 16-bit data will be specified. So 16-bit data can occupy 2 byte of memory and opcode will occupy 1 byte of memory. Okay students, so this is about the instruction word size. Now see students, what microprocessor can do with the instruction? Every instruction has its unique opcode. Okay, we are talking about opcode here. So what is opcode? Opcode is the code for each and every instruction of 8085. So microprocessor will initially fetch the instruction, then what it can do after fetching, then it will decode the instruction. So what does decoding means? Decoding means it will get the opcode of that particular instruction, and after getting the opcode of that that instruction, now microprocessor will come to know that which operation it has to be applied with the data. Okay, so after getting the opcode, then it will execute the instruction. So first part is fetching, then it is decoding, where the opcode will be retrieved by the microprocessor, and after this the execution will be take place by the microprocessor. Okay, so here for each and every instruction, microprocessor will get the opcode, so that microprocessor will come to know that whether it has to perform the add operation, whether it has to perform any of the logical operation or compare or anything else. So that will be decoded in this part. Now students, it will not okay, now students, if we are talking about here, so it will not include the data, because there are infinite numbers that we can add, move, subtract in any of the register and the accumulator. Likewise here we can consider it as a 1 byte instruction, it is considered as a 1 byte instruction, again it is considered as a 1 byte instruction. In this example, you can see MVIB is a opcode, but we cannot consider this number as a opcode. Why? Because opcode or opcodes are limited. Okay, opcodes are limited, but number are infinite. We can write any number here, ranges from 00 to FFH. Okay, so we cannot specify the opcode for any of the number. We can specify the opcode for this only, that is MVIB, for ADI only. 05 is the data, and data is infinite, so we cannot write a opcode for data as well as the addresses, because again the address range starts from 0000 to FFFL. So that means these are infinite numbers, and it is not possible to write the opcode for these addresses also. Okay, and same we have a data that ranges from 00 to FFS, so that means it is not possible to assign the opcode for the data as well as the addresses. So only we can, or only the microprocessor can assign the opcode to this only, that is MVIB, because these are defined, because we have only 7 general purpose registers, A, B, C, D, E, H and L. So with that only we have 7 combinations. Okay, so so it's easy to assign the opcode for 7 combination rather than to assign the 7 combination with these numbers. Okay, that is 00 to FFH. So that means if we are assigning numbers, or if we are assigning opcode to all the addresses as well as all the data, then it becomes infinite. Okay, so rather than that only we can assign the opcode for ADI, MVIB, like CMA, RAR, MOV, B, C, because these are limited, but numbers and addresses are not limited in size. So we can make opcode for registers only, because instructions and registers are limited in size, while data as well as the address is not limited in size. So this is about the instruction word size. Now students, after this, now we can see the addressing modes of 8085. Again, very important topic of this chapter, that is addressing mode of 8085. One question comes from this topic maximum time. Okay, so addressing modes of 8085. Now students, addressing mode of 8085 means, see, we have different ways in 8085 using which we can specify the data in the instruction. Okay, so that is the addressing mode. So there are different ways using which we can specify the data in the instruction. So each instruction requires some data on which it has to be operated. So there are different techniques to which, or by using which, we can specify the data for instruction. So addressing means different techniques using which we can specify the data in instruction. That is known as the addressing mode. Okay, students, like for example, we can take the example. Suppose we have to add 20, we have to add this 20H number, okay, with the contents of the accumulator. We have an accumulator and we have this data. So we have to add the contents of the accumulator with this data, that is 20H. Now in 8085 there are different ways using which we can add these two numbers. First way is we can directly add this 20 with the contents of the accumulator. For that we have an instruction that is ADI 20H. So this instruction means add the contents of accumulator with the contents that are present in the instruction, and the result is stored in the accumulator. Okay. Second way is add B. This instruction means firstly we have to put 20H into B register, and then this B, the contents of the B register will be added with the contents of the accumulator, and the result is stored in A. So this instruction means A plus B. So the sum of these two numbers stored in the accumulator at last. So initially we have to put the data inside this register, and from this register that data will be added with the contents of accumulator, and the result is stored in the accumulator. Now third way we have is add M. So according to this instruction, this is the memory location. So at this memory location the contents are stored. So microprocessor will fetch the contents from this memory location, or will fetch the contents that is pointed by this memory location, and then those contents will be added with the contents of the accumulator, and the result is stored in the accumulator again. So there are different ways using which we can add a data with the accumulator. Okay, so means we can specify the data in the instructions in the different ways. So according to that we have 5 different ways, or we have 5 different types of addressing modes in 8085. So first type of addressing mode of 8085 is immediate addressing mode. Immediate addressing mode. So students, immediate addressing mode is the addressing mode immediate addressing mode is the addressing mode where 8 or 16 bit data is specified in the instruction. So 8 or 16 bit data is specified in the instruction directly, that is known as a immediate addressing mode. So these type of addressing mode is either 2 or 3 byte long. So here the instruction that comes under this addressing mode is either 2 byte or it is either 3 byte instruction. So if in the instruction we have 8 bit data, so if in the instruction we have 8 bit data, then we can say that instruction is of 2 byte, and if in the instruction we have 16 bit data, then we can say that instruction is of 3 byte. Okay students, so this is the immediate type of addressing mode. Now we can see the example in case of immediate addressing mode, that is MVI A, 0AH. So this instruction means we can move the contents that are present in this instruction into the accumulator. Okay, so here you can see 0A is the data while MVI A is the opcode. So this data will occupy 1 byte of memory, or we can say 8 bit data, and this opcode can also occupy 1 byte of memory. So in this instruction you can see data is means immediately we can move the contents that are present in this instruction into the accumulator. So this comes under the category of immediate addressing mode. And second thing using which we can specify this instruction is immediate, if I is written in the instruction, so that instruction is a immediate type of instruction. For example, another example we can take XRI04H. In this instruction means we can XOR the contents that are present in the instruction immediately with the contents of the accumulator. So again you can see here I is given in the instruction, so immediately XOR the contents that are present here with the contents of the accumulator. So again this instruction is of 2 byte, that is XRI04H. Next we can see LXI B comma 2000H. So in this instruction again you can see I is given. I means immediate addressing mode. Second, here 16-bit data is given. So this 16-bit data will be loaded into the BC pair. Now students, why we are talking here that we are talking about the BC pair? Because here B is only written. Then why I will tell you this is the pair? Why? Because if X is written in any of the instruction, that means that instruction is a that instruction can talk about the register pair, not about the single pair, because here we have a 16-bit data, and here if we are writing B, that means we are talking about the BC pair. So individually B can occupy 8-bit of memory, and if we can combine this B with C, that means it can occupy 16-bit of memory. So 16-bit register can occupy this 16-bit data. If it is of 8-bit, then it is not able to occupy this 16-bit data. So in any of the instruction, if X is given, that means we are talking about the register pair. We have some other example, that is STAXB. So again in this instruction you can see X. So that means for this instruction we are talking about the BC pair, not about the B only. We have an instruction that is LDAXD. So again in this instruction X is given, so that means we are talking about the DE pair. We are not only talking about the D register. So any of the instruction which contains X, that means we are talking about the register pair and not about the single register. Okay, so these instructions are the immediate type of instruction. Now students, what is the advantage of immediate addressing mode? In this case, microprocessor will not waste time in searching the data. Why it will not waste time in searching the data? Because data is present in the instruction itself. Okay, so microprocessor will not waste any cycle to search the data. Data is here only. So advantage of this type of instruction is it is simple instruction, and microprocessor will not waste time in searching the data. In searching data, microprocessor will not waste time. Okay, so these are the advantages of this instruction. Now what is the disadvantage of this instruction? Disadvantage of this instruction is these instructions are lengthy instructions, or it can occupy more memory. Why? Because data is given in the instruction. If data is given in the instruction, then this will occupy 2 byte of memory. If the 16-bit data is given, then it will occupy 3 byte of memory. So these type of instructions are lengthy or bigger in size. So this is the disadvantage in case of immediate addressing mode. I hope you all understand about the immediate addressing mode. So now we can come to next topic, or the next addressing mode, that is implied addressing mode. Now students, implied or implicit addressing mode means implied and implicit addressing mode means it does not require any operand. Implicit or implied, it does not require any explicit operand. Okay, so no operand is here in case of implicit or the implied addressing mode. The data is specified within opcode itself. So data is in the opcode itself. So basically here the data is present inside the accumulator. So maximum logical operations or logical instructions falls under this addressing mode. Okay. So that is a implicit or implied addressing mode where no operand is specified explicitly. Data is inside the opcode itself, and maximum time the logical instruction comes under this addressing mode. For example, we have an instruction that is CMA. So CMA means complement the contents of the accumulator. So that means here the data is present in this opcode only. Where data is present inside the accumulator, and microprocessor will complement the contents of the accumulator. So this is the implicit or the implied addressing mode. Next we have instruction like STC. STC means set the carry. Set the carry means we can set the value of the carry flag is equal to 1. Again here we have the contents that are present in the carry flag. So here this is the opcode and the data is inside this opcode only. Next instruction we can see RAL. RAL means rotate the contents of the accumulator on the left side with carry. So which contents we have to rotate? The contents in the accumulator. So that means this is the opcode and the contents are present within the opcode only. So these instructions comes under the implicit or the implied addressing mode. So these instructions are of 1 byte instructions. Okay, so implicit instructions are the 1 byte instructions. Now students, the advantage of the implicit type of instructions is these instructions are simple instructions. Okay, these instructions are simple instructions, and the disadvantage of these instructions are these are rigid in nature. So these instructions are rigid. So this is about the implicit or the implied addressing mode. Now after this we can study about the third type of addressing mode, that is register addressing mode. So register addressing mode is the addressing mode where the on both source as well as the destination registers are specified. So the source as well as the destination operands. So in this case, source and the destination operands are the general purpose registers and are general purpose registers. So here we have a general purpose registers on both the source as well as the destination side. So which general purpose registers we have? A, B, C, D, E. All these registers are the general purpose registers. So in 8085 we have 7 different types of general purpose registers. So both the source as well as the destination operands are general purpose registers. Now students, in this case 1 byte instruction is here. So these register addressing mode, all the instructions falls under this addressing mode are 1 byte instructions, because no explicitly data and address is specified in the instruction. So these so the instruction that falls under this category are register addressing mode type of instructions. Next, for example, we have an example like add B. So you can see here we have a source as well as the destination are general purpose register. Why? The meaning of this instruction is we can add the contents of A with the contents of the B register and the result is stored in the A. So you can see in this instruction both the source as well as the destination are general purpose registers. Second example we can see A and A C. So this instruction means add the contents of the accumulator with the contents of the C register and the result is stored in the accumulator itself. Okay. Next example we can see move A comma B. Again in this instruction you can see source as well as the destination both are the general purpose register. So that means again this instruction comes under the register addressing mode. So any of the instruction where general purpose registers are given, those instructions are the register addressing mode type of instruction, and these instructions are the 1 byte instructions. Okay, so these are the 1 byte instructions. You can see add B, this is the 1 byte instruction. A and AC, this is a 1 byte instruction. Move A comma B, again this is a 1 byte instruction. So all these instructions are 1 byte instruction. Now one more thing, see students, while we are talking about the move, so this instruction will not cut and paste the contents, it will copy the contents. Whatever contents that are present in B will be moved into the A register and those contents will retain in the B register as well. Okay, suppose we have 20H in B register. So after execution of this instruction, A is equal to 20H and B is also equal to 20H. So all the instructions can copy the contents, it will not cut the contents. Okay, so what is, now we can see the advantages of register addressing mode. So register addressing mode type of instructions are smaller instructions. Why these are called the smaller instructions? Because it will occupy only 1 byte of instruction. Now disadvantage. Now the disadvantage of register addressing mode is these are complex type of instruction. Complex type of instructions, these are because we don't know, if we are talking about this move A comma B, so we don't know what is present inside B and what is present inside A. Only we can write this instruction, and this instruction will move whatever contents present in B into the A register. Likewise, if we are talking about add B, so whatever contents present in the B register, that will be added with the contents of the A register, and user will not know what is present inside this register. So all the data is hidden inside these registers. So these type of instructions, or this addressing mode is complex type of addressing mode. Okay. So students, this is the third category. Now we can see the fourth type of addressing mode of 8085. So fourth type of addressing mode is direct addressing mode. Now students, direct addressing mode means the address is specified in the instruction. So in case of direct addressing mode, 16-bit address is given in the instruction. If 16-bit address is given in the instruction, then we can call that instruction is a direct type of instruction. Okay. So if in any of the instructions 16-bit address is given, that means that instruction is of 3 byte. Okay, so the instruction that falls under this addressing mode are basically of 3 byte instructions. Okay, now students, we can see the example of direct addressing mode. For example, we have an instruction that is LDA 2000H. So in this instruction you can see 2000 is the 16-bit address, while this is the opcode that is of 1 byte. So here direct address is given in the instruction, and this instruction means whatever contents present in this memory location, that will be loaded into the accumulator. So for example, in this memory location 2000, we have the contents 05H. Okay, so after the execution of this instruction, the accumulator will be loaded with 05H after the execution of this instruction. Okay, so directly address is given in the instruction, and from that address microprocessor will fetch the data and it will assign to the particular register. So that is known as the direct addressing mode. For second example, we can see after this now we have an instruction that is STA 2001H. So in this instruction means whatever contents present in the accumulator will be loaded into the memory location 2001. Okay, so suppose in accumulator we have contents 04. Okay, after the execution of this instruction, now at this memory location 2001, 04 will be stored. Okay, so if in any of the instruction address is given, that means we can call that instruction as a direct addressing mode type of instruction. Is it clear? Okay, now last type of addressing mode of 8085 is indirect addressing mode. Indirect addressing mode is very important addressing mode. Indirect addressing mode. Okay students, so what is indirect addressing mode? The instruction reference the memory through the register pair. The memory address where the operand is located is specified by the contents of the register pair. That means the data which is present, that is specified by the register pair, and basically in this case we are talking about the register pair that is HL, and we can say it as a M. Okay, so HL register pair is specified by M, that is memory location. So the contents that we have to on which we have to perform the operations, those contents will be pointed by the memory location M. Okay, so for example, we have an instruction under this addressing mode, that is add B. So add B means we have to add the contents of the accumulator with the contents that are pointed by the HL pair, and after that the result will be stored in the accumulator. That means directly address is not given in the instruction. Okay, so initially we have to go to the memory location which is specified by this M, and then from that memory location microprocessor will fetch the data, and that data will be added with the contents of the accumulator, and the result is stored in the accumulator. So we can see here, suppose in A we have 20H and we have a HL pair that points to memory location 2001H. Okay, so initially microprocessor will check the data at this memory location, that is 2001. So suppose here we have a data that is 40. So microprocessor will fetch this 40 from this memory location, then it will add the contents with the contents of the accumulator, and the result will be stored in the accumulator itself at last. So what is the difference between direct and indirect? In case of direct, this address is specified in the instruction itself. But while we are talking about the indirect addressing mode, that time the address is not directly specified in the instruction. That address will be pointed by this memory location, that is that address will be pointed by the HL pair. So microprocessor will initially go to this particular memory location, and from that memory location it will get the data, and that data will it will add with the contents of the accumulator. So this is the indirect addressing mode. Now students, in case of the indirect addressing mode, what is the advantage? It is the more flexible instruction. So this instruction is more flexible, okay, and more flexible, and in most of the programs we can use indirect addressing mode. So this is more flexible, as well as we can use it for more of the programs, because if we are talking about the loops, then for using the loops in the program, basically we can use these type of instruction that falls under the indirect addressing mode. But what is the disadvantage? Disadvantage means the loops will work for only contiguous memory location. Loops will work for contiguous memory locations only. Okay, if we are talking about the different memory locations that are not in the series, then this addressing mode will not work. Okay, now I will tell you with the help of example. Suppose we have to load the contents of the memory location into the accumulator. Okay, suppose we have the contents in the memory location 5000. We have a memory location that is 5000, and we have to load the contents of this memory location into accumulator. Okay, so if we are talking about the direct addressing mode, then we can write the instruction LDA 5000H. So this instruction means whatever contents present in this memory location will be loaded into accumulator. Okay, now if we are talking about the indirect addressing mode, so in case of indirect addressing mode, what we can do, initially we can write LXI H, 5000H. So initially we can load this 16-bit data into the HL pair, and after loading this data into the HL pair, now what we can do, or we can say here B, suppose, so here we are writing LDAX B. Okay, so this instruction means initially we can load this BC pair with 5000, that is 16-bit data, and from this memory location now the data will be loaded into the accumulator. Okay, so in case of directly we can write this command, but in case of indirect we have to write these two commands. Okay, So now you can, now you will say, ma'am, in case of direct addressing mode, it is simple because we have to write only one instruction, and in case of indirect, we have to write two instructions to perform the same thing. So students, why we can use this indirect addressing mode? Now suppose I am telling you, for the next 50 consecutive memory locations, you have to load the data into the accumulator. Initially, you can load the data from this memory location into the accumulator. Then you have to load the data from the next memory location to the accumulator, and same way you have to load the data up to 50th memory location. So you have to write LDA 5000H, then you can write LDA 5001H, then you can write LDA 5002H, and so on up to 50 locations. Okay, so that means to load into the 50 consecutive memory locations, you have to write 50 lines with next addresses. Okay, in case of the direct addressing mode. But same thing if we are using with the help of indirect addressing mode, then what we can do, we can write LXIB 5000H. Then we are writing this command, and after that we are writing INXB. Okay, so this instruction means firstly we can load the BC with this 16-bit data. So BC contains 5000. Okay, after this we can load the contents that are present in B into accumulator. Okay, so suppose at this memory location we have contents 20. So A will be loaded with the 20 data. After this, that is INXH. So that means we can increment the data, or we can increment the value of BC pair. Why we are talking about pair? Because X is written in the instruction. So that means initially BC was 5000. Now BC is equal to 5001. Okay. So now students, here BC is equal to 5001. So that means now it is loaded with 5001, and from here we can start the loop, and this loop again goes here, and again after incrementing BC, now the next value of the next memory location will be loaded into the accumulator. So after loading the next location, again it is incremented by B, then it becomes 5002. Again we can go here, and here again the contents of BC will be loaded into the accumulator. So we can run this loop for 50 times simply by writing 2 or 3 lines. Okay, and by giving the condition, we can using the loop, and we can load 50 next consecutive memory locations or the contents into the accumulator. So while we are using the loops, then it is easy, and this is more flexible also. Okay, and in most of the programs we can use this indirect type of addressing mode. Got it? So this is about the direct. Now students, I will give you another example. See, suppose we have to load 0 into the, we have 3 registers A, B and C, and we have to load 0 into all these 3 registers. So what we can do, we can write MVI A, 00H. Okay, so that means 0 will be loaded into the accumulator. So this instruction will occupy 2 bytes of memory, 1 byte for this and 1 byte for this. Next we can write MVI B, 00H. Again it will occupy 1 byte of memory, and it will occupy 1 byte of memory. Next again we can write MVI C, 00H. Again this instruction will occupy 2 byte of memory. So overall all the instructions can occupy 6 byte of memory. Okay, now another way, this is the immediate addressing mode, where we can use the immediate type of instructions. Now second way to load 00 into all 3 registers is we can write MVI A, 00H. Okay, so this instruction will occupy 2 byte of memory. Then we can write move B, A. So that means the contents of A will be loaded into B register. So what is the content of A? That is 00 that we have initialized in the first instruction. So this instruction will occupy 1 byte of memory, because this is the register addressing mode. Next we can write move C comma A. So again this is the register addressing mode where both the source as well as the destination are general purpose register. So again this instruction will occupy 1 byte of memory. So overall all these instructions can occupy 4 byte of memory. Okay, so with these 3 instructions we can do the same thing, and with three instructions we can perform the same thing, but these 3 instructions will occupy 6 byte of memory, while these 3 instructions will occupy 3 byte of memory. Now another way is we can write SUBA. So that this instruction means the contents of accumulator will be subtracted with the contents of accumulator and the result is stored in A. So in A we have 0 0. Okay, so we can subtract, and whatever contents are in A, that will be subtracted with the contents of A. Okay, so suppose in A we have 0 5, so that 0 5 will be subtracted with the 0 5 and the result is 0. So that means by using this instruction the accumulator is getting cleared. Okay, so here A is equal to 0 0. Now after this we can write move B comma A, then we can write move C comma A, because using first instruction the contents of accumulator gets cleared, and those 0 0 value will be moved into B, and in the next instruction again 0 0 will move into C. So again in this you can see this will occupy 1 byte of memory, this will occupy 1 byte of memory, and again this will occupy 1 byte of memory. So if we are writing the program with the help of these instructions, then it will occupy 3 byte of memory. So that means there are different ways to write the program. Any of the way you can use, but the size is different. Okay, because this instruction can occupy 6 byte and it will do the same work that will be done by these 3 instructions, and same that will be done by these 3 instructions. Okay, so this is all about the addressing mode of 8085. Now I will summarize you all the addressing modes of 8085. First one is the immediate addressing mode. Now students, immediate addressing mode, in case of this, 8-bit data or the 8-bit address is within the instruction only. In case of the immediate addressing mode, basically these are either 2-byte instructions or the 3-byte long instructions. Okay, for example LXI B, 2000H, and next you need to specify if I is given in the instruction, then that instruction is a 1 byte instruction. Next example we have in case of immediate is MVI B, 20H. So again in this I is specified, that means this instruction is immediate and this data is given in the instruction. Okay, next we have is the implied instruction. So in case of implied instruction, no operand is given in the instruction, that operand is implicit within the instruction. So implied instructions are 1 byte long. For example CMA, set the carry RAR, RLC, okay, RAL. So these instruction comes under the implied addressing mode. Third type is register addressing mode, where data is in the register. So where the data is present in the registers, and both the source as well as the destinations are specified by the general purpose register. So again these type of instructions are the 1 byte instructions. For example SUB B, add C, okay, move A comma B. So these instruction falls under the register addressing mode. Next one is the direct addressing mode. So in this case address is in the instruction. So if in the instruction address is given, that means that instruction or that instruction comes under the direct addressing mode. So these instructions are 3 byte instructions because address is in the instructions. For example LDA address or STA address. So these instructions are the direct addressing mode type of instructions. Okay, last and the most important is indirect, or we can say register indirect addressing mode. So in this case data is pointed by memory location. Okay, so data is not directly present in the instruction, or the address is not directly in the instruction. Data is pointed by the memory location. So these instructions are again of 1 byte instruction. Okay, so these instructions are 1 byte instructions. For example, we have STAXB, we have LDAXB. Okay, so these type of instructions are the indirect addressing mode type of instruction. Now students, one more hint to identify the indirect addressing mode. If M is given in the instruction, that means we are talking about the indirect addressing mode, like add M. Okay, we have ANAM, and the contents of memory location, that is pointed by this M with the contents of the accumulator. So these type of instructions are the comes under the indirect addressing mode. So this is all about the addressing modes of 8085. If you have any doubt, then we can discuss in the next lecture. Okay, so now we can end the session.